Well, everyone, we often wonder what does the future holds. What am I gonna be 20, 30, or 40 years from now? But we don't think about the end, death. I'm Vince, and this is Life is a Lie. Well, everyone, welcome for another episode of Life is a Lie. I can't actually believe that we reached this far, and I am so excited to announce that we're now live on Spotify. Life is a Lie episodes. Well, episodes are now on Spotify. You can uh, listen or download for future purposes, so you can listen to this epic podcast anywhere you want. And that link would be in the description, or if you're already on Spotify listening to this, then that's amazing. Yay. um for those that want a, what is it called, a advanced upload, I will upload first on Spotify before I upload the video version. So that's pretty neat. So I'm sorry, I was just excited. Okay. We're also on Anchor. If you know what Anchor is, we're now on Anchor as well. So yeah, I hope we reach Google Podcasts and other podcasting platforms. Jeez. So yeah. Um, Today, well, we're pretty off topic, but today we're gonna talk about what does the end look like. The end is pretty interesting. Well, everything is pretty interesting because it's life. And sorry if I sound more happier. Just kidding. But I'm just very excited to record again, since yeah, it's been a while again. And yeah, so the end is pretty interesting. Not the end from Minecraft, if you play Minecraft, but um anyways, um we're gonna talk about, of course, the future again, even though we've tackled it on the cryogenic episode. It's The future is um pretty amazing to talk about, since we do not know what it is, and it can be anything. Plus, it is the most important part, being that it is what we are, you know, far ahead from now. And I think that's really important again, since, you know, if it doesn't matter now, it will matter next time. And but what does the end look like? I'm repeating myself, but that's why I have some points to read here. Yes, this is not scripted, but I just have some questions that we're gonna tackle now, or on this episode. But fair warning again, I do not have any, um, you know, any proof to prove to you that I'm someone that is trusting. No, that someone you should take advice on, and something that who knows what they're doing. I'm not that kind of person. Well, if you consider me as that, well, thank you. Um, since a lot of people just, assume that people, all, all of us, have something or that influence one another, but we can not take advices from them. We are still in control of ourselves. So whatever people might say, we can still um, control ourselves. We are still um, the one that is in control. Okay. The first question is what happens after we die? The second question is death a punishment or a reward? This is gonna be so controversial. Also, speaking of that, I forgot to mention, I'm just gonna share something. When I was uploading an episode on Spotify, the previous episodes, I realized that there are some podcasts out there on Spotify and everywhere that is tackling about religion and politics, and I was surprised, but they are focused on it. So I think that's pretty good. Or there's no issue to it. I'm just really surprised since um people just talk about life and people just talk about anything and they get criticized, especially when you talk about religion and politics. And I was really just very astonished. And yeah, I hope um that will go well for them. Next is what happens in the future. Getting older, getting better. What happens not only to us but to others when we die? What is the end of the world? Well, we're not gonna talk about, you know, according to Bible or religion. We will mention it, but we wouldn't focus on it since I'm not a religious person. And yeah, okay. First of all, I would like to um uh tell something about death or talk about it since death is very complex. There's a lot of theories what happens after we die, before we die, during dying. They say that when we die or during the death of us, we flash or the memories of us, everything flashes before our eyes or in our mind. Then we die peacefully after that. And that is very interesting since it would it would bring back memories even from very far or very long ago. It might even bring up memories that you already forgotten about. Okay. Um, but what happens after we die? That's the most interesting question. Um, yes, there. or some that says we go to heaven, hell, or some other place. My camera just shook. Sorry about that. Um, or some other place, and I think um, it's kind of um magical, you know, imagining yourself on some other place besides Earth. It's really something, to think about. And I think heaven and heaven or heaven or hell is another interesting concept, and I'm not against it nor um in it. you know I don't believe in it. I don't criticize it. I just respect it. And we shouldn't be, disbelief on every circumstance. When people believe on this thing, we should just respect it, since we honestly don't know. We don't really know what what's the truth of something, or of everything, really. And we should just respect, since you might, or you may never know if it is true. And you know there's the truth is um the truth is on us. It is on our perspective on things. And actually everything is about us, or on our mind. So it's just, our beliefs. So you should just respect everything. Really, that's what I'm saying. But with that in mind, the place, what if there isn't a place? It's hard to imagine being dead and not even anywhere. People believe that, you know reincarnation, which when you die you go straight back in here. And actually, I don't have any information. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm always wrong. I think it's, you are gonna get back here on Earth, then you won't forget anything. It's like you're a different person, but it's still you, reincarnated. Maybe not as a human, maybe as a thing, maybe as a, I don't think as a thing, as a another living thing, another animal, or anything really. And that's also very interesting. And I kind of believe on it on some way. Well, I do believe that it's very hard to think about that there is nothing on the other side. That's why we create these theories. We create something we should look after to, or something we should look forward. You know, if I die, I'm gonna go to here. If I die, I'm gonna blah blah blah. And that's something to look forward to, and that's very important, since it boosts our self-esteem. And it would decrease our, you know curiosity, and what is it called, it would decrease our dismotivation. Is that a word? you know, and there's a lot of theories of what happens after you die, but the most, really, the most important thing is that everything we do here should matter. Since if it doesn't matter, then yikes, what a waste. Well, really, if nothing really matters, um, we still had, we still benefited from it. We lived our lives and maybe tried to be better, and we experienced a lot of things, and it's a blessing, some people might say, and it's really mind-boggling. And yeah, when you have um or you think nothing really matters, well, that is called nihilism, I think. Yes. Nihilism is where your theory about things is that nothing else matters and nothing is important, nothing would bring any um part, you know, and to me. And I think I'm coming to that, you know. I'm I think I'm coming to that theory that maybe nothing really matters because, well, you know, we can't prove that it is not real. We can prove that something is real, so we should just respect everything. And um existentialism as well. What else is narcissism? No, that's another thing to talk about. But when we take it that we don't go anywhere, or just nothing happens after we die, some say that it's very negative to talk to speak such a thing. And it's very um not really motivating us. So maybe that's why we came up of a lot of theories of what happens. And really, whatever happens, you know. And if it can come true, it will come true, or it will happen. When something can happen, it will happen. I think that's Murphy's law. Yes, Murphy's law. Murphy's law is when something can happen, it will happen. And um, that's why that can be an explanation to luck, karma, coincidences. When some, or for example, a plane would crash down on you right now, but I'm not saying anything. Um, I'm not wishing you, I'm not wishing your death, but it can happen, and if it can happen, it will happen. The possibility, that's what it's saying there. If there's a possibility that it can happen, and so in conclusion, wow, no, but dying is a big part of our lives, since the beginning is very important, so the end is really important as well. Some say that in order to know what happens in the end or after we die, we should know where we came from. Since maybe we go back there, and we go back where we came from. Not like on our mother's womb or something, but before that, before that, where were we? We were a sperm and I'm not gonna talk about that since I don't even know about it. Just kidding. Um, we were just an imagination before that. What if I'm gonna make a baby? We're just an imagination before we are a physical thing. And maybe we go back to being an imagination. you know, for example, there's a really interesting theory that we're just on someone's mind. For example, you think of a superhero, someone that can fly, has a blue shirt, someone that can also time travel, which has 900 arms. Where does that superhero exist? Nowhere. It's in your mind. So, nothing else, it doesn't exist on anything else but your mind. And maybe you are part of it. What if we're just someone, or someone that is created by someone who is thinking about us, created us? There's a lot of theories, so we shouldn't be obstinate, or obstinate is a very big term. It refers to the unwillingness to receive opinions, to receive beliefs, to receive anything. It's like I'm the right one, and I should be um you should be following me, you know and that's like a lot of people have that kind of mindset, and it's it's really coming out now, especially when we are at homes and we just comment and we criticize each other, and we think that we're the right ones, but there isn't really a right one. We have different perspectives on things, and we should be open and be open-minded. That's very important, and that's my pet peeve when someone isn't open-minded. They don't accept anything but their own beliefs. And we should be open, since we don't even know if we're right. We shouldn't declare that we're right. No one is perfect, no one is right. you know we say no one is perfect, but we are actually perfect. We are so perfect that we think that we're imperfect. um yeah, we shouldn't say actually that we're imperfect, since whoever, if there is one that created us, well, they they would be disappointed, since I created you and you just consider yourself as imperfect. Just like, what? I create a being that is so perfect, and they say they are imperfect. That's just very sad. And my perspective on religion, it's just my perspective. It's not even really controversial, but my perspective is, whether or not religion, anything, God, anything is real or not, whether or not, you know, if it's real or it's not, whatever you might prefer, it doesn't matter. What matters is that they, whoever they are helping us to cope with our problems. Even though they are not real, we can talk to them. Um, they can give, you know, advice from books. They can, you can share feelings to them. You learn from them. What I'm referring by them is the gods and goddesses. Whatever you whomever or whatever you believe on, they help us, and that's the most important thing. If they are real, then much better, you know. If they are not, what is important is um we learn from them, the experience from the books, the guidance from them. There's so much, so many things we get from them, even though they exist or not. You know, and that's really my side on things. Whenever they say, "Do you believe in God?" Because a lot of people often question me, or question really anybody else, that, "Do you believe in God?" And I don't think it matters if you believe or not, since it helps you, you know. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. Just kidding. Thanks for listening. Just kidding. Okay. Second is, yes, we talked about what does the end look like. No, actually, we talked about, well, the end is death. So we technically talked about what does the end look like. We don't really know, and I think that's an answer you already know. No one knows. We create theories, but what I am saying is, it doesn't matter what it looks like. What matters is we do our best here. Since we do not know what happens after this, we should treasure this moment to fix things, to do things right. You know, if if there's nothing after this, then this is the most important thing now. Next is that a punishment or is that a punishment or a reward? Well, if you think about this, um, it depends, really. It depends on the person. When they are suffering, you know, they want to die, really, and I don't think death is the answer to everything. It is actually neither a punishment or a reward. It is just an event, you know. For example, Christmas. Um, there are yes, um, I know that some people don't really celebrate Christmas, but for those who celebrate it, some people it is a punishment. Why? Maybe they don't like it. Maybe they just receive a lot of work from it, you know, or the schedule that they have will ruin um the Christmas will ruin their schedule or something, you know. And for some people, it's a reward since you will get gifts and everything. And I think that's also that. It depends. Everything actually depends on people. Everything. You tell me it depends. You know. For example, what is life? It depends. I'm very sorry with the um stuttering since I'm very fast talker and some people even don't understand what I'm saying. But um it really depends. For example, like I said before I stuttered, what is life? It depends on whom you're asking to, since we have different beliefs and opinions. Also, off topic, just bringing it out there. We are fighting, or we have conflicts, wars, because we have different skills, we have different abilities, we have different mindset, we have everything different. We're not the same. Well, I talked about this the previous episode, so you can listen to that if you want to know if we're different or something. I talked about this, but what I'm saying is that um maybe we have conflicts because we have different opinions. We use it as something of a downside, but it's actually a good side. Um, Having different opinions and beliefs is a good side. Having different ideas is a good side or a good thing. It is a pros or um it is a advantage, but we often just fight each other and make it as a disadvantage. And I'm saying this again, I am no one. Like the um Ed Sheeran song, What Do I Know? I love that song. I actually love Ed Sheeran and all of his songs. I'm actually looking forward to his album Equals coming out. Okay, I'm very sorry for that interruption. But I want this podcast to be, just being by yourself. And you should do that, you know, just be who you are. And if that, if who you are is something that people don't want you to be, then maybe it's something that is, inappropriate. But think, think hardly on it. Anyways, It is an advantage that we have different ideas. Have you heard of the the crowd effect or something? No, the power of the crowd. I think it's very close to that. If I'm not mistaken, it's what it's called. And they did an experiment of a jar with jelly beans, and I mean jelly beans, like so many jelly beans. And they they asked people, they asked just a single person as a group 1, and group 2 or group B is a group of people. They asked them to estimate how many jelly beans are there in the jar. And can you guess whom estimate the closest to the real answer? I'll give you 5 seconds. Just kidding. Um, the answer is, or what they came up with, is the group. Why? Well, one person, just for example, I I estimate that's 400 jelly beans. Let's just say it's just 100 jelly beans. Okay? So, the one person is already so far away from it, or away from the right answer. How about the group? For example, there are 5 people. The one guessed that's 400, the same as the last one. The second is, well, that's just only 300. A little less, a little closer. One says that's just 50 jelly beans. So they underestimated. What I'm saying here is that when you have a group, when they averaged the answers of, for example, the 5 people or 10 people, the average of their guesses turned out to be very close, like only one away. For example, there are 382 jelly beans. The group guessed averagely that there are 383. Just one away, I think. But I might be wrong. I think it's just very, very, very close, and it is because um, that some people or some people on that group will overestimate and underestimate how many jelly beans are on that jar. So that overestimation and that underestimation will converge into one answer, which is on the middle of that, which will be the right, or which will be the closest to the right answer. I don't know if you get it, but it's really the power of the crowd. I think it's the magic of the crowd or something. But it's the power of the crowd. And what is this on relation to what I'm saying, that it is an advantage to that it is an advantage that we have different ideas. It is because when we have different ideas, some ideas are better, some ideas are worse, some ideas are better than better, you know, and we will come up on something that is better than just one thinking about it. I will give you an example, and this is actually true. Um, the power of the crowd that I said earlier is actually applied um, democracy, in politics. Again, with the politics, but there isn't only the president there. Unlike the monarchy, I don't really know much about the monarchy part, but with the democracy, there's the president, vice president, senators, blah 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 blah. There's so many people. So you are that um so those people would come up on something better to do. For example, they are on a meeting. What will we do to this road? It's broken. We will just build a lampshade, but this doesn't fix it. Maybe we should just um re-cement or refix it. Oh, that's a good idea, but we can fix it and have a lampshade as well, so it is it is more brighter. But we can have, the exchange of the ideas is why we are human. But it is why we come up with better ideas. It is because of the working together part. But it is really hard to work together. I know, I know. So I'm gonna cut that from now, since there's a lot to talk about and there's little much time, you know. Um, we're running out of time, is what I'm saying. Okay, what happens in the future? You know, and this part is very it depends as well. You know, it depends. Really, the future is what it depends. Sorry, I don't know what happened there. It isn't a burp. It isn't a cough. I don't know what happened there. Um. Okay. I forgot what I'm saying. But the future is what we make it of. you know, it's like our motto. But the future is dependent on the past. Since bleh, there's no future. There's a lot of bleh today. Sorry. There's no future if there's no past or present. It only exists since there is something that you did, and the future is the outcome of something. It is the effect. The cause is what we are doing now. We are actually the future of, for example, 1999. It is now 2021. And we are the future of that year, since we are the effect. For example, I did something 30 years ago. I planted a small sapling, and after a few years or so, it is now a big giant tree growing. So that is the future. We are the future now. We are always the future. And what we do matters. What we do will form that future, or our future now. Anything ahead of us is our future. Next is getting older, getting better. Well, what I'm saying here is, a lot of people say that they are better, or I have a lot of experience because I am older than you, so I am a better person, And that is a wrong mindset. We are all have different skills. I can prove you that we have our specialty, our different specialty on different circumstances, since disabled people can do much more than they are capable of. You know, they can't do something, but they can do something else. You know, yes, I can't do, for example, um, I can't play the piano, but I can draw a piano. We have different specialties, and p- actually, people now, especially me, or including I, it is really hard to, or difficult to find yourself, to know what that, or know your skill, know your difference from everybody else. It is really hard to know what you do next. After you graduate from school, what next? But really, we just go wherever it takes us. We may plan, but it might not come true. Yes, we can make it come true. People say we can make it come true, but some things isn't possible. We say everything's possible, but okay, fine. Be a millionaire instantly now. You know? No, you can't do that. Fly on space, go to Mars right now, right this second. You can't do that. You need progress. I'm saying these things as like I'm a better person than all of you, but you guys are better. I'm no one. What do I know? Okay. Next one. All of these are related to what does the end look like. What happens not only to us but to others when we die. And this is really interesting again. When we think about what happens to us, we already talked about that we might be on a different realm, on a different world. We don't know. We might even go straight back here. We might not even die. We might even be a ghost. You know, there's a lot of possibilities. Um, Maybe there's other dimensions, and that would just break the all of the theories of everything. But what happens to us really doesn't matter, really. Or at least to me, I don't care what happens to me after I die, or really what happens to me. I don't really care about it anymore. Even if I explode right now. I hope not. Just kidding. Well, I don't really care. That doesn't really matter. What matters is what we leave on this world. What we leave on this world, I think that matters. Since if this and you won't go away when I die, then that's a really big part of the future. If I leave this here on YouTube and Spotify, it is now on the archives, and you know, even though I'm gone, it is here. I think. Well, when everything's gone. But while this is here and I'm not here, then, you know, it really makes a difference. And I think what happens to us, what I mean by that, what I mean by that is that what we live in this earth, do it matter? Will it matter even though I'm not even here anymore? Since maybe if we die, everything of this everything in this world stops. It's just like a game. When your game over, everyone, even the NPCs, stop from moving, or basically the game is over. You know, nothing really matters. All of that is just a memory, and a memory is another thing to talk about, and it is also related to the future and to death. You know, since when you're death, when you're dead, you only leave memories. There's nothing really much more to that. Everything. What is happening to my body? Everything past you or everything behind you is just your memory, since you don't exist anymore. Well, you existed, and I honestly think, for me, that here, everything here won't go away. What I'm saying is, if I die, then you guys don't stop. You just continue. You know, the world continues even without you. The world doesn't revolve around you, and you should stop acting like it does. Okay. And finally, and I think the most important part of this, since it is the direct message from the question, what does the end look like? It is the question of what happened, or what is the end of the world. Well, it is really hard to know, since there has been actually a lot of end of the worlds, quote unquote, end of the world's events. For example, according to science, um, dinosaurs. Yes, we're coming to dinosaurs, but they became extinct. They became extinct because of an event that happened. We don't even know. We just theorize that is a meteor, and it might even be our doom someday, since um the dinosaurs lived here like 99999999999 billion trillion years ago. So what if it happens again 9999999 billion years from now again, and that would be the end, and it's just a reset button, because I think the end of the world really is just a reset button, since I don't think this stops. I don't think the world stops. Even if this universe is kaboomers, you know, even if the universe is gone, there might be another universe that will pop up with another creature, another like us, another thingy. It's just an endless loop, and I think um it is not important to think about the end of the world. What we should think about is, what will we um give, or what will we, what is it called? It's really hard to think of a word when you're on the spot. What will you, I will just say, what will you give, you know, to the community? What will you give to the world so that you can help? It's all about helping each other, because when it is about killing each other, then I don't think it has a point. It has actually zero value. It has zero benefits, just for fun. People sometimes kill for fun, you know, and I think that's the only benefit that you will get from it. And why would you do that if you have a lot of things? Think of the possibilities you can do to have fun, and all the benefits you get from a crime you can do from every anything else. Instead of you know um stealing from a bank, you can do a lot more. You can work. I think that's um pretty obvious, but yes, people say that I can't even work. I'm very poor, or something that you have an excuse on, and that the government doesn't really care. I hate this government, so I will just steal the money. What am I saying? I will just steal the money. But there are a lot of ways you can protest. You can do things. There are a lot of things that will benefit you the same way, instead of doing a crime. And that's basically it. you know and yes, it is very cool to um to know what will happen in the future. you know it's very cool. And it's very also cool to know what the end of the world is. you know there are a lot of end of the world events, as I said. There's also from the Noah's Ark. I don't think it's a end of the world event, but it's close to it. The water rises so high that you need a large or a boat or something that will save you from the water. You know, water, fire. There's even turning to ash, turning to salt in the Bible. There's a lot of events that I would say we thought about. And again, we don't really know. And I don't think we will know unless we live forever. And I think I would end this for now. This has been a pleasure. This has been amazing. This has been like the best episode there is. Now, what I'm saying is, I actually expressed myself a lot in this episode. I feel free, and I think you should do that too. But remember, which is so important, to just respect other people's opinions. Since, as I said, all of our ideas, all of us are important. We have value. That's why we're here. there's, you know, even if we don't have value, we make the value. And that's it. This has been so fun to talk about. And don't worry, we will actually talk about the future and death more in this podcast if you like that kind of stuff. But I just want to put this out there while I can. So, what does the end look like? We don't know. you know, you should just have you should have just skipped to the end of this video or audio so you knew what the answer is, which is I don't know or we don't know, which you already know. That's why I just explained some things and just talked about a lot of things, and I feel free, I really feel free. Freedom, I don't care what I look like. I don't care anything else. I don't care about anything else anymore. So that is it. Thank you so much for still supporting me. Or if you're new here, then thank you for listening to this episode. We have a lot of episodes, but I know they are so bad. So, but there's still a lot of episodes. I'm just saying, wink, 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 wink. And thank you so much. I really appreciate all of the support, all of the comments, all of the likes, everything. You know, I treasure it with all my heart. I respect everyone and everything. And that is it. Thank you again for still being here for me. And life is what you make it of. See you guys in the next episode of Leal. Life is a lie. Thank you so much. Bye bye.